Yo, what's up, guys? It's Ghosted, and we are back on the Surrender at 20 website, checking out the 11.13 balance changes. First up, we got Aphelios, the Hitman, and the Seer. We got his 80 increase from 4 to 24, and is being increased to 5 to 30, and his lethality is being increased from 3.5 to 21 to 4.1. To 4.5 to 27. Good buffs to Aphelios. They're still trying to make him a little bit stronger. Next thing up, we got his Lee Sin. His laning phase is being, or they're trying to nerf so his E doesn't do as much damage and he can't be played in the lane pretty much. So his E damage lower from 100 to 260 to 100 to 220. Next up, we have his Olaf. His HP per level is being increased from 93 to 100, and his MP5. And Olaf's MP5 is being increased from 7.47 to 7.5. And his mana regen per second per level increased from 0.116 to 0.12. I don't know what MP5 means here, if I'm gonna be honest. That is kind of a mystery to me. But I know we're gonna move on. We got Rumble, his Scrap Shield W. The cooldown is being increased from 6 at all ranks to 7 to 6. And then we have his movement speed being lowered from 15 to 35 to 10 to 30. That's a really big nerf on his movement speed there. They really want to make sure he's catchable, because when he gets that movement speed, bro, he's fast as hell. It's especially at the earlier range. He's like, you cannot catch him at all. Next up, we have the TAHM KENCH changes. We'll read more about that at the bottom of this. Next up, we have his Viego. I think they're nerfing his laning phase a little bit, but buffing his E. The minion healing is lowered from 100% to 50%, and the E movement speed increased from 20 to 30% is being increased to I'm assuming this has 32.5 to 35. No, wait, no, it doesn't. Then what's this? I don't know. There's 3 in front of there, so maybe they're saying 25 to 35%. Next, we have is his missile speed increase is being increased from 1,000 to 1,200, and the missile length increased from 700 to 775. Alright, I don't know. His E's, I feel like it's fine the way it is. They didn't need to buff this at all. Next up, we have his Zaya. The damage per dagger increased from 45 to 125 to 50 to 150. We'll see about this later, because her dagger it's like mainly like a poke ability, or just a setup so you can get your E off. You do Q auto and then E back. So this will probably be a decent buff to her. I don't know how well, because the scaling isn't high on it, so I'm not expecting it to do a lot of damage, but then again, it's mainly used to get your root off. Next that we have is Divine Sunderer. This item is infamous in the last few weeks, just for being very, very strong items on Ezreal especially, and a lot of tanks and bruisers like Camille and Nasus. So they're lowering the damage. The damage changed from 12% max health or max HP to 12% for melee and 9% for range. So Ezreal's gonna have an issue with that. Leandry, these are all the changes to the mage items, so then it's a lot stronger on mages, and mages can get the item a lot faster. I'm like the changes to Leandry's and Luden's. Everfrost is that's a big combined cost lowered. So first up we have is Leandry's. The cost lowered from 3,400 to 3,200, and the combined cost is also being lowered from 1,200 to 1,000. Same thing with Luden's, 3,400 to 3,200, and the combined cost is being lowered from 1,250 to 1,050. Then we have Everfrost, 3,400 to 3,200, 450 to 250 among all builds. Next up, we have a few items that were being added to the league. We had the Elder Plate, but I'm pretty sure they removed that from the PBE. And they also added a few other items. So they added a new item called Anthem's Chains and Hullbreaker. We're gonna go check those out in a second right here. So Hullbreaker is the new split push item for like Yorick, Nasus. It could be for Garen as well. Just if you want to split push, it's the item that you want to go. 50 attack damage, 300 health, 150 base health regen. While no champions are nearby, you gain 20 to 45 armor and magic resist, and 20% increased damage to towers. And nearby large minions gain 60 to 135 armor and magic resist, and 200% increased damage to towers. Now I feel like this item is going to be really game breaking. I'm trying to play rank before this item comes out, because I know Yorick is going to be a menace. Pretty much a lot of top laners are going to be menaces to lane. Well, not lane against, but after laning phase, you see them in the top lane and they start building the components for this item. You know they're going to be a fucking problem, because Not only get to deal with them, but the minions as well and nearby are also going to be annoying as shit because they're going to be tanky and do a lot of damage to the tower. So we don't know about this item just yet. And if we have his anathema's chains, 650 health and 20 ability haste. Choose a nemesis to start building a vendetta over 60 seconds. Take up to 30% reduced damage from your nemesis, 1% per vendetta stack, and at max stacks, your nemesis has 20% reduced tenacity while near you. Alright, so you never seen this. I think this is the first item that actually gives your enemy reduced tenacity, so this is a pretty big change. I don't know when you to build this, but I'm assuming it says targeted resist, so if you, I guess if you're a tank and you don't want to die to a certain champion a lot, like if you're Cho'Gath, you don't want to die to Vayne, you probably build this against her, so then she can do 30% reduced damage to you. This item seems pretty strong, but the base stats on it are kind of don't seem the best. But for 2,500 gold, you get 650 health and 20 ability haste, plus you get 30% reduced damage. I don't know. We'll have to see when this item comes to live service to see how it works and how it feels to play against and use. So we don't know about this just yet. And then we have the TAHM Kench mini rework over here. His Q still does the slow and on hit 10% of his missing health. It heals him at least for his 10% missing health, and it gets a stack of his acquired taste. And then we have his active devour while your tongue is in midair to devour enemy champions who already have 3 stacks from a distance when you hit them. Next we have his W, abyssal dive down and then reappear at a target location, dealing 240 magic damage and knock up all enemies. Hitting at least one champion refunds 30% of the cooldown and mana cost. Devour allies can be taken along for the ride, but can always hop out early. I don't know, they changed his ulti to be his W, which is kind of big, I feel like. I don't know how, like, I mean, it had a big cooldown, but this is a really, it'll all make him a lot safer. He can, like, W out to get away from ganks and stuff like that, but, I mean, if Akali has her E, I guess this is fine too, but this is for a tank, so I don't know. Next we have is his E, thick skin, same thing. He stores 65%, or the 65% of damage TAHM Kench taken can be stored as thick health or thick skin, and then he can turn that into a shield or heal back from it if not damaged. Next thing we have is his R. TAHM Kench devours a champion for a few seconds. He can recast and spit them out. Enemy champions acquire 3 seconds of an acquired taste are devoured for up to 3 seconds and take 400 plus 15% of their max health as magic damage. TAHM Kench is slowed by 40% and grounded during this effect. Allied champions are devoured for up to 3 seconds and are granted 600 health shields for up to 2.5 seconds before being spit out. Allies can also choose to exit early. TAHM Kench is slowed by 10% and grounded during this effect, but he can cast Abyssal Dive. Okay. So they're nerfing his Devour on enemy champions and allied champions for 80 seconds plus 100 mana. So we'll just have to see when this comes on live. I feel like, I don't know how this change will feel. I feel like this will be annoying when ganking him in lane, but it can be good when, like, for at least when he wants to engage on fights and stuff. He can get a big knock up, especially for his teammates. And overall, I'm thinking this is a decent rework for him, or mini rework at least. Next up we have is the whole entire patch notes, some other items being changed and added and whatnot. So we already went over Divine Sunder, Anthem's Change, and Hullbreaker. All these have been seen. We didn't see the Ghost Pour rune and the Moonstone Renewer. Heal and shield power per stack 6% to 7%. And the Ghost Pour rune, the duration is being increased to 60 to 90 seconds, and the reveal duration is 4 to 6 seconds. Halting Slash no longer dashes the user 300 units. Instead, they added the Halting Slash can now be cast while moving. Halting Slash damage being from 75% to 100% to slow, 40% decaying over 2 seconds to 90%. Wow, decaying to 40 seconds over 3 seconds. Halting Slash cooldown 26 to 15 seconds. Heroic gained passive 30 movement speed to 20 movement speed. Mythic passive 3% movement speed to 2% movement speed. Health 200 to 400. Attack damage 45 to 40. This Hullbreaker got like a hard nerf, I feel like. This, I mean, if they're increasing it to a 90% slow, then that's gonna be really strong, especially since it can be cast while moving. That could be pretty strong, I'm not gonna lie. But they're nerfing the Mythic passive on it. It's only getting 2% to the 3%, which I felt like 3% was fine, but maybe they were too fast, so that's what they had to nerf it. Next we have a Shirelius nerf, the Inspired Active Movement Speed, 60% Decaying Movement Speed, 30% at the base, to 30% movement speed non-decaying. Alright. Next up we have is the Cosmic Drive. That item was really good. The movement speed 10 to 30%, scaling with level, and their trade depth to 20. Next up we have is the ability power, 75 to 80. Okay. So the movement speed is being nerfed on it, but they are buffing the AP, the amount of ability power that you get from it. Next is Nimbus Cloak. We have a movement speed per threshold, 5% to 35 to 5% to 25. Gale Force nerf, good nerf to that. Mythic Pass to 3% to 2%. So all the items that give you movement speed are all being changed to 2%. Prowler's Claw nerf, that's good because Prowler's Claw is now like an ADC item for some reason. The cooldown being increased from 60 to 90, the lethality 21 to 18, and the sand swipe targeting any enemy unit to enemy champion. I just found out that you can use what's it called, Prowler's Claw on a minion. I did not know that. That shit's kind of crazy. Trinity Force, they're adjusting it just a little bit. The attack damage is being increased from 30 to 35, and the on-hit movement speed 25 to 20. Next up we have his Lich Bane. Hate to see movement speed being nerfed to 10% to 8%, but they're giving it 5 extra ability power. Like, that will change much, but you know, it is what it is. Black Cleaver, the health 400 to 450, the movement speed per stack of Carve is 5 to 30, and now it's being nerfed to 3, which, you know, Black Cleaver had its fun for the little bit that it did. They still didn't want to give it that 5 to where it can get at 30 at max, but they put it at 3, so it gets 18. Next thing we have is Dead Man's Plate. The charge time 8 to 4 seconds. The max movement speed 60 to 40 seconds. And then the damage is being changed from 1 to 100 magic damage per based on stacks to 1 to 40 with 100% base AD physical damage based on stacks. Next we have is Death Stance. The heal on champion takedown is being increased from 10% to 15, but they removed the takedown, granting 30% movement speed for 2 seconds. I feel like they could have just given the takedown just a little bit. They could have just taken down the movement speed just a little bit, but they didn't. You know, they got rid of it entirely. So it is what it is. This is a pretty big patch. A lot of changes to the items. We have some changes to champions here, but you know, it is what it is at the end of the day. Viego changes mid to jungle. They just want to make sure that Viego is still a primarily jungler instead of being a mid laner. But overall, what do you guys feel like about these items? Do you guys think all the mage items that are going to be buffed are going to finally be good? Will the mages finally get their shine? Which, I mean, I feel like they're already strong, but you know. Anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I will talk to you guys next time.